Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another 90 Day Fiance Season 7, The Tell All Part 1. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the notes that I have curated from last night's 2-hour episode of The Tell All, child. So we kind of see everybody before the reunion. Some of them are at their hotel. Some of them are showing up to the site where the reunion is filmed. And we see Annie and Robert at the hotel. Marriage has been a tad bit tough for the two of them, but Annie says that I'm still waiting for all the promises that Robert made, okay? She's still waiting for everything that Robert said he was going to afford her, which did not include the user's clothes, okay? Not the used, the user's clothes, okay? I picked up on that this episode. They have struggled in their marriage, so yeah, some unresolved issues to discuss today. Mike is dressed as if he has a business meeting right after the reunion. You know, Angela's there without Michael. I think Annie and Robert had the most going on like at the beginning of the reunion, or at least what I remembered. Okay, I'm sorry if I call it a reunion. It's a tell-all. It's the same damn thing. So Tanya got into a car accident. Sinjin has been very helpful. She has her foot in a cast, and he's done a lot to take care of her. So yay, I guess they're still together. Who knows? Mike almost didn't make it to the tell-all. He and Natalie are working on their differences, and, you know, she just doesn't know what to say. She doesn't know what to say. When that happened, I was like, Natalie, why are you here? Shut up. Like, I'm sorry, y'all, but Natalie works on my nerves, and I know that they're trying to create this narrative so we cannot know what's really going on. Mike could be this terrible person, and Natalie could have a reason for the way she's acted, and that can all be possible. But at this moment, Natalie is working on my nerves, and her crazy eyes do not change that for me. They discuss Marcel and Anna making noises in the bedroom. Okay, the kids say they heard some things, and, you know, Anna says that it's just tapping. It's just a little bit tapping. I said, tapping? What kind of tapping is we hearing? Are we hearing rhythmic clapping sounds? Never mind. Anyway, okay, Marcel is holding on to his rosary for dear life, all right? He was praying over he and Anna for this tell-all because it seems as if it's about to be a tad bit uncomfortable. Michael and Angela, okay, since we're discussing how often we all have sex, or sex period, Angela decides to share that she and Michael had sex 38 times in 2 weeks, 4 times a day. Sean Robinson, the host, does not believe them. Me and my husband said Michael is a single 30-year-old Nigerian man. It's definitely a possibility. And we don't know if Angela still has any feeling down there. So I'm sure that he's banging away for dear God, okay? Just watching the ripples go. Mike and Natalie also had a lot of sex when they were spending time together, about 3 times a day. Sean says, I'm very confused about you guys' relationship. What's going on with you two? And they say they don't know. I said, oh, so nothing has changed since the last time we saw you guys. Still up in the air, huh? Let it fall. Let it go. Tired of saying that. Tired of seeing them. Looks like, you know, Mike from Recess married one of the Ashleys. Like, it's just annoying. Tanya and her 30-day trip, okay? There has been a lot of conversation on social media. People don't like Tanya. Tanya seems to think that we don't like her because of this soulmate shit. I think that just compounded our dislike for her. To me, she just has an overall I don't give a fuck mentality as it pertains to her relationship. It's like gimme, 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 but I don't really have to give you anything in return. That's just kind of how it seems. Even though that's not necessarily their relationship, because as we, you know, come to see throughout their conversation on the tell-all, he doesn't work and she pays for everything. And she's been doing that for like 3 years. So there's stress on Tanya as far as her relationship with Sinjin is concerned. That's why she's always trying to push him to do more, because he hasn't done shit. But we also have to keep in mind that legally he cannot work, so what else can she expect from him? And who told you to marry and want to be with a man who doesn't want to work for 3 years? Okay, like I'm just saying, nobody told you to do that. Talking about he ain't worked since 2018 or something like that. 2 years. Girl. But yes, her 30-day trip that she took during their 90 days. Everyone says that they would not have done that. And she's like, well, we've had a lot of time together versus Robert and Annie over there, who only met each other for 18 hours before they decided to do the 90-day fiance situation. She's been back and forth. They've spent a lot of time together. She felt like, she didn't want to put off her trip any longer. And that's great and all of that. But it did seem as if you're going to put your own shit ahead of y'all relationship more often than not. And that doesn't feel safe. Just saying. And then there's the question of, did she party or did she learn something? Because to us, it looked like she just partied. And I'm like, come on now. Y'all know that girl probably did things that they didn't film because nobody cares about that. Okay? Like, we all know that. The thing that was entertaining was her going out at night and basically telling Sinjin to go do something with herself while she go bumping and grinding with her dance teacher who she showed to him on video chat. I was just kind of like, this is all very, very blatant. I'm just saying, girl, blatant. Some of those things you could have kept to yourself. There's a way to handle yourself in a way that it doesn't make your significant other feel like shit, and you can still go and have a good time. Tanya thinks she's being honest, but in all honesty, she's kind of being an asshole. Just tell him you're gonna call him. Just tell him you're gonna call him. Tell him you love him. Tell him you miss him. Like, just give him that interaction instead of getting mad at him for wanting it. They talk about how hard it was for Sinjin while she was gone and how he didn't have anybody. And she feels like, well, she went to South Africa to be with him, and that was a new place for her, and she got along just fine. What did he do to make her more comfortable? I said, I don't know, bitch, not leave you for 30 days in his country? Like, you comparing apples to oranges right now, Tanya. Take the lick. Then they get into how he procrastinates. All of these different things he wants to do, he needs to let the opera thing go. You're at an age that if you can't sing on key automatically, you need to just let it go. Trust me. Opera is nothing to play with. And he was hella flat. Emily makes a great point that regardless to what your dreams are, we still have to pay these bills. You still have to go and procure a paycheck so we can eat and live. Then we get into how Sinjin kind of has PTSD from when he worked in the mines. And I feel like, well, in all honesty, you need to think about this differently, Sinjin. You need to think about any job being better than being in the mines, so you'll do any job. You don't have the time or the money or the skill set to sit on your elbows and just wait for the perfect job. You'll never find it if you're not actually trying. I would appreciate a man that worked and then quit and then got another job all the time. As long as he kept that money coming in, I don't give a shit how many jobs you quit and get rehired at and all of that. Just be consistent as far as taking care of the household. That's how I feel. Because sometimes these jobs suck and they are just that, jobs. And whenever they feel like they want to start to take a person for granted at a job and you can get another one, I think you should move on to the next job. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I think we're not in a time frame anymore where people can really try to keep you on a job for 15, 20 years. They don't do enough to keep you on those jobs. They hardly give you raises. They never want to actually give you more benefits as time goes on. You're just giving your life to somebody for a little bit of money and a lot of stress. And sometimes it's just not worth it. So if I were Sinjin and I was Tanya, I would probably be like, you need to work somewhere and I need to have you at least have money saved up for the time when you're not working. But you can't just not work and not have money and think we about to do this. Not at all. Nope. So Tanya takes some responsibility for the fact that you signed on for that shit. Then we talk about how they still got married despite not being clear on the kid situation. At first, it was a time frame thing. Now, Sinjin doesn't even know if he wants to have a kid. Sinjin doesn't want any real responsibility. He doesn't want anything that is going to tie him down. And a child will tie him down in a way that a marriage won't. Also, they didn't have a lot of time and they didn't want to do the long distance thing. So they had to hurry up and make a decision. So even if they have to end up getting a divorce, we at least got married so that we can work on it without being long distance. That's the corner you push people into when you do the 90-day fiance thing. It's not always exactly what it should be, but you have only a certain amount of time. So what you gonna do? Keep continuing to live apart? or try to work it out together. Like, you know, you only have so many choices. I feel like ultimately Tanya and Sinjin did what was best for their relationship as far as getting married so they wouldn't have to, you know, live apart. But this baby situation is a deal breaker. It is a deal breaker. And the fact that it was not handled and dealt with long ago, like, honestly, I put the blame on Sinjin, because you to me seem as if you perpetrated your feelings about it because you wanted to be with her, versus being honest from jump that I don't know if I want to have children. Like, but men always say that, and then they get 40 and decide they want to have kids. But you just can't be with a woman who's the same age as you, because then if you can't afford IVF or a surrogate, her eggs are dry. She has a time clock on her situation. Child, if I was her and I really wanted to be with him and, you know, I felt like it was going to work, God, just get pregnant and deal with it. What you going to do? And she needs to be prepared to raise a baby on her own, but something tells me she is 100% ready to do that if she has to. I think she wants the baby more than she wants the family unit thing. At least that's the way it seems. But we'll get back to them soon. Emily and Sasha. Okay, so they feel like his ex-wife is a hater because of the way she went off on the show about all he does is get women pregnant and leave the one he was with before to marry the other one. It's a cycle that he does. His first wife, she feels as if he cheated on her with the second wife. And we all know that he cheated on the second wife with Emily. I don't give a shit what they say, okay? You did it. Stop lying. But he insists that he met the second wife after he had already filed for divorce from his first wife. I don't believe that. That first wife just seems way too, sure about the situation. And plus, she and the second wife are friends. So obviously, she would have a better idea of their situation because she's friends with the second wife. And he's the only one that has a reason to lie because he don't want to look bad in that tight ass shirt. He admits that he made some mistakes, but the main mistake is not being there for his oldest child. He was not there the way he should have been, and he blames being 23 on it. I said, but you made the choice to have a baby. You made the choice to get married. Why does everybody think that, they can just go around having children and using their fucking age as a reason to why they couldn't arise to the occasion? That's why you get on birth control if you want to be out here fucking, or you wear condoms. But you do things so that you don't have these responsibilities, because nobody wants to hear about how young you are or how hard it is after you decided to do that. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Just saying. Especially not from him, who we can tell never really was probably as hands-on as the women he's decided to impregnate. So then Betsy joins them. Y'all know that's the sister. Betsy can't stand Sasha's ass. But, we all kind of carry the same sentiment as she does. They discuss Emily's weight and how Betsy feels as if Sinjin is only interested in her size and not her actual health, and how he does not have a degree in nutrition. All he knows how to do is help somebody lift some weights. So he needs to stop putting unnecessary pressure on Emily to lose weight when she just had a baby. Like, it's just not cool. And I think Tanya's point was the best point, which is, you can want for her to get healthy, but what's more important is that you make her feel comfortable in her body during this time in her life. She doesn't need to feel unhappy with her body and then feel you being unhappy with her body on top of that. There needs to be some encouragement that she's beautiful and you love her the way she is. And nobody sees that from Sasha, because Sasha doesn't live in that place. Sasha lives in, I want you to be in shape. You should be in shape. So we're going to get you in shape. Fuck your feelings. I'm not about to tell you look good because right now you don't. Like, that's how he feel. You know what I mean? And that's messed up to me. It's really, really messed up. And I think all the women pay attention to that. But the men feel like, because Blake chimes in with his blue contacts. And I said, what in the demon seed is going on here? I want his blazer for myself, though. But either way, okay, they feel like you just have to be honest, don't eat that. Instead of, kind of just being, less hands-on with that. Let her handle her weight gain. Ultimately, Betsy thinks that Sasha will change once he gets his green card, because right now he's 100% dependent upon her and her family. Emily says that she's tired of hearing people talking about this green card shit. Okay, she is over it. I said, well, that's the situation that you in, sis. Just saying. I don't know what you expect. Betsy say that Sasha got a pattern and she's just waiting on that pattern to reveal itself. Okay? And y'all could think Betsy's a hater, but I think she's being 100% factual. Sasha's an asshole. Like, just real. Sasha's an asshole. So y'all, Michael and Juliana, okay? We talk about her family and how her family are gimme people. They were so happy when they thought that Juliana was gonna be their way out of poverty, okay? Now they don't have two words for her. They can't talk to her. They don't reach out to her. They have no time for her. They're mad at her. The last time she saw them when she was getting ready to come to America, they said all these horrible and terrible things to her, all because she could not take them with her when she traveled around the world. Everybody was betting on her to be their savior. And I think that is so unfair when people do that. And they put it under the guise of, having love for your family. And I'm like, I can love my family. That doesn't mean I can carry all you motherfuckers on my back. Like, at the end of the day, if we get in water and I'm supposed to carry all of y'all on my back, I'ma drown and so are some of y'all. So yeah, no, I'm not doing that shit. Okay, I was mad that they made Juliana feel that way because they live in a house that Juliana pays the mortgage on. She owns a home there and she got that car for them, but she was constantly doing everything for them. And it's just no appreciation, no real love, just, oh, you can't do something for me? Fuck you then. And I can't. I think that Juliana need to leave her family the hell where they at. Because if you can't love me and be there for me regardless, then I don't need to be there for you. Period. I don't care if you're family or not. Call me when somebody die or when somebody born. That's it. If you're going to call me then. So then Sarah comes out. You guys, Sarah is so expressive. I be wondering if she on something, but I doubt it. Did y'all see how Sarah came out there with no makeup on? I said, yes, middle-aged white lady, come out here with no makeup on and still look good, girl. I'm here for you. Because I was like, oh, she don't have no makeup on. She looks great. I'm just saying, because y'all see how some of these people look without makeup on, looking like raccoons and everything else. Oh, discoloration. You know what I'm saying? Sis came out there like, oh my God, I'm excited to be here. I love Juliana. I was like, okay, Sarah, we fucks with you. Okay, we really, really do. Your whole little energy is a lot, but I'm appreciative of it. It's positive. So they discussed Michael and Sarah's divorce. And one of the things Michael said was that he didn't feel very free during that time. And Sarah is taken aback by it and kind of makes a face because she feels as if she gave Michael a lot of latitude. There was a lot of traveling and probably a lot of cheating that she ignored and let skate by. So for him to feel as if she was still controlling in some way, I'm sure she's kind of aggravated about that. And I would be too. He says that he never cheated on her during the marriage, but there was some emotional infidelities. I'm like, same damn difference. They asked Juliana, has she talked to Michael about his divorce from Sarah? She's like, no, that's weird. And Sean was like, no, it's not. Like, you should definitely have conversations with him about his marriage and why it ended, But Juliana gets all of her information from Sarah. She don't need to talk to him. And Sarah has become her best friend. They were actually holding hands on stage. I don't know why, y'all, but their whole little thing, I love it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sarah steals Juliana from Michael one day. Okay, come home and them two bitches is in the bed together. And then they bring out the kids, y'all. They bring out Max and Cece, who are the stars of the show. I love them. And they were talking about, their surprise when they found out that he had a girlfriend. And Max was like, yeah, when I found out she was 20 years younger than him, I was like, oh God, Dad. When your kid is exasperated with you and your bullshit, I cannot. Max also has some advice for the other couples. Y'all should get to know each other's cultures before y'all get together. At least know each other's language. And he's sitting right next to Anna and Marcel. So he turns around and he says, I'm sorry. I was like, no. Yo, I was so tickled. And they were like, no, it's not about y'all better not have a problem because he's telling y'all the damn truth. And they talking about Marcel staring at him. I said, Marcel don't know what the hell that kid just said. Okay, he just staring because he don't know where else to look. And then they talk about, their favorite couples, Tanya and Sinjin and Natalie and Mike. I think that Cece has a crush on Mike. Okay. I don't think she really likes Natalie because she couldn't remember her name. But yeah, y'all, moving on. So Robert and Annie. All right. They talk about this whole thing of them thinking that Annie is a gold digger. And Robert said that he tested her to see if she was a gold digger. That's probably why he was doing all of that lying before she came to America. I said, boy, lie, I don't care who tell it. If you don't get out of here with that. Annie says that it's not about the money. It's not about the money because I had a man. I had a man who was rich and I lived in his big house and people did things for me every day, all day. And you know, I was so unhappy because there was no connection. You know, I sat there and I drank all day. That's all I did, you know. So Annie is saying that it's not about the money. I know, y'all, my accent for her was not that good. I don't know why I'm going in and out of my accents lately. I'm a little tired. That's all that's going on. My bad. But ultimately, Annie said, Robert don't have any money. Where's the money? Where's the money? Because she don't see no money. Okay, all she know is she love Robert. She wants to be with Robert, and she is not a gold digger because she could have been with somebody with money, and Robert ain't that. And then Robert gets into how he do have money. He just don't throw it away. She said, where's the money, Robert? Where's the money? We don't see the money. Stop it. And then, you know, this whole conversation of deleting all of the pictures of you and your exes from your Facebook page. I don't believe in all of that because I don't have time for that shit, first of all. I don't care that much. I'm not even on Facebook like that. But ultimately, I feel like Facebook is a overall lifetime photo album. And it's just what your life has been thus far. And I don't think that any relationship should make you feel like you have to delete that because regardless, it happened. It says on the picture, this is from 3 years ago. So nobody's going to confuse what happened back then with what's happening right now, especially if it says married to whoever on your page. Like everybody, I think, has a understanding that things happen and we don't always take them off the page, and it's just this was then and this is now. Like, I don't understand how people make a big deal out of that as if it has some bearing on the relationship, and in all honesty, it doesn't. Tanya says she has the same problem with Sinjin. He woke up one morning, why is this on your page? Like, nigga, it's from a year ago. I don't know what the fuck. Like, see what I'm saying? Crazy shit. Crazy jealous people. So yeah, then we get into Stephanie and Ben. You know, that's Bryson's grandparents, okay? And Annie really doesn't like them because of the way they treated her and how they tried to pay her to go back to the Dominican Republic and said he was marrying a maid. I said, would you be saying he was marrying a maid if she was white? Like, I wanted to kick him in the throat for saying that shit. Because Ben tried to act like he's the one that's not all aggressive the way Stephanie is. But in all actuality, you passive aggressive and you say little slick shit and you think you're getting away with it. But nah, I heard you. I don't like you and I don't like your wife, but I think she has a great esthetician. Whoever is doing her Botox, fantastic job. Classy. Really good. You need to give Jasmine your number, okay? Whoever does Stephanie's Botox and filler needs to do Jasmine's Botox and filler, because I'm trying to understand why Stephanie's old ass look better than Jasmine, and she got to at least be 15 years her senior. Okay, look, whatever. But they get into how Stephanie was asking about Annie and her birth control. Annie says that she never had a kid before. It's a sensitive subject. And they just asked her that without even knowing, like, she's never had a kid before. So, like, for her, she doesn't know if she can have a kid. She's tried, and she wants to have a kid. So, for her, it's just like them bringing that up was a sore subject within itself. And it was no consideration for her. At the end of the day, it's none of your fucking business. Like, I get so tired of people. People ask me that all the time. When y'all gonna have kids? Like, how do you know that I'm not trying to have kids? Like, how do you know I'm not having an issue? How do you know that every time you bring that up, I don't want to jump off a fucking roof? I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm that's not my issue. But I'm saying for some women, and like Annie said, it's a sensitive subject, and nobody wants that shit brought up in casual conversation as if I have a child, it has anything to do with you. Stop. Like, stop that shit, okay? I'm just saying. Then Stephanie and Ben say that, you know, the reason why they asked that is because Robert is so fertile, and if they have another kid, it's gonna take away from Bryson. I said, bitch, you overstepping your motherfucking boundaries a lot right now. I didn't even want to curse like that, but I had to, because how dare you? You are a grandparent. Where is your daughter? Why is she not involved? You working on my nerves, Stephanie, because if them people decide to have a baby, that's their business, not yours, okay? Like, how dare you? How dare you? It's going to take more from Bryson. He already got 4 other kids. Mind your business. Do what you can do for your grandchild and go about your way. If you want your own baby, get them old powdery ass cakes popping and do something for Ben. But stop worrying about what the shit going on in the bedroom between Annie and Robert. How dare you? I just thought that was so crass. Robert said he doesn't appreciate that line of questioning because it's not like Stephanie is his mom. Okay, if it was his mom, maybe it'd be a little less invasive because, you know, biological grandmother. You're not going to be kin to that child in no type of way, and nobody's going to neglect Bryson, so please stop. Then he says that real shit, Stephanie sent him some nasty text messages, and that's why Bryson hasn't been over to see him. And then they get upset and start screaming and howling and get off camera. And he says that Stephanie, you know, there's some real dark shit going on with them. And when he was out in the streets homeless, going from friend to friend's couch, she never opened up her door for him once. So he don't want to hear shit from her because she wasn't there for him when he needed it. And she also didn't reach out and say, oh, why don't you let us take Bryson while you figure your shit out? She never said that. His people did. So he don't really want to hear nothing she got to say. And that's just that. So we move on to Marcel and Anna and their lack of communication. And she says that he can say some things in English, but he was sitting there like he ain't know not a damn thing in English. I think he just didn't like being put on the spot. But she says that she's learning his language, so they are trying to get better at communicating. They also talk about how her oldest son, Joey, doesn't like Marcel, how he tells the youngest one, don't call him dad, that's not your dad. Yeah, y'all need to take that little boy to therapy. Then they talk about Marcel lying about the kids, and everybody has such a hard time with that. But ultimately, if he can do it over again, he wouldn't have lied about the kids. And now he wants for him and Anna to have their own kid. And Anna can no longer carry, so they will have to get a surrogate. But in Turkey, where he's from, it's illegal to get a surrogate. I said, what the fuck? Like, y'all just have weirdest things. It's illegal. Like, word that you can't that much about that. Okay. But happy for everybody. Marcel says he no longer cares what his family has to say about anything. I said, you shouldn't. It's not like they paying any of your bills. Child, that was the first thing I learned, that once people ain't really doing shit to take care of you, you take care of yourself, their opinion really don't matter that much. Like, if you not being in my life really doesn't make a change in my shit, then okay, fine. Tanya and Sinjin in this soulmates conversation, all right? Tanya gonna keep trying to spin it as if there's some alternate definition of what a soulmate is. But either way, whatever your definition is, I'm trying to understand why you don't consider someone you want to spend the rest of your life with a soulmate. That doesn't make any sense. I understood where Robert was coming from. I want to be with this woman. I love her. She my fire and my desire. It's my soulmate, okay? And even if it doesn't last forever, it is a soulmate. I'm one of the people that believe in soul ties, or soulmates, period. Because soul ties when you have sex with people and then you tie your soul to theirs. That's real. That's why my numbers are small. But too much, okay? But also, I feel like soulmates are just people who you come in contact with throughout several lives. That's just how I feel. So the fact that she doesn't see him as a soulmate is just so ridiculous to me. She does appreciate Sinjin and how he allows her to explore and be who she is. And he understands her out there-ness. You know, they kind of have that in common. But then she starts to cry, and I felt like her crying was manipulative so that we can get off of her, because she felt kind of attacked by everybody in a soulmate situation, okay? Sasha made a good point, okay? He was like, as a man, nobody wants to hear about your previous relationships and how much you love them. So just don't tell us. Don't tell us about that shit. Then they asked Natalie if she and Mike are soulmates. I said, y'all messy as shit. That girl just not couldn't say she loved him. You think she gonna say they soulmates? Child, please. She views soulmates as somebody who can read your mind, who you don't really have to say anything to, and you just get each other and it's just easy. And I'm just like, that's not what a soulmate is. Because I don't know any relationship where you don't have to communicate at some point or another verbally. Like, eventually you start to read each other's minds and finish each other's sentences and kind of already know how the other person will feel about that. But that's more of a learned thing than anything. And both people being receptive to each other already. Because I feel like you got to be in tune. There are some people that are just not in tune with one another. And you have to be in tune. But I don't think it is the way Natalie described it. Because the idea that you don't have to verbally say shit to people is ridiculous. Especially if you're a woman in a relationship with a man. No, you gotta say something to them fools sometimes. No disrespect, man, but y'all can be a tad bit slow. Love you though. But of course, she doesn't see Mike that way. Angela says that Mike should keep trying to break through to Natalie. And I think that Angela should mind her business and shut the hell up, because she's always speaking from the standpoint of wanting somebody to chase her ass. Okay? Mike don't need to chase Natalie. He needs to move on to a woman who also believes in aliens. Sean asked the status of Mike and Natalie's relationship. And just when she starts to say, I don't know, Mike, what is our relationship? Sean said, no, I want you to answer, Natalie. I need an answer from you, dear. Okay? And that's when it go off. I was like, thank you, Sean. Thank you. Because that aggravates me when she does that. Like, just answer the fucking question. Stop trying to push it off on him because you don't have an answer your damn self. Child, she work on my nerves. Anyway, we'll be back for the rest of the Tell All Tuesday. I love y'all. Well, it comes on tonight, Monday night, but I don't know if I'm going to make it to, all 4 of them videos tonight. Because, Love and Hip Hop Miami, New York, All American, and the Tell All Part 2, child. That's probably not going to be done till Tuesday. I love y'all though. Okay, y'all gonna get these videos. I know I'm late, but y'all gonna get them. The only thing I haven't planned to do is Bondy Blue Show. And I might do, one earlier in this week instead, since I didn't do one last week. But, y'all will get all the regularly scheduled programming. And I hope y'all enjoy. See y'all in the next one.